Yeah, welcome to his garage. New set of wheels for me, BMW Z3. This came a bit unexpected, but the car is mine, so why not show you a bit more about it? Yes, so one might wonder then, why a Z3? I would say one factor is just something as simple as age. The Z3 was launched in the autumn of 1995, and well, now it's the autumn of 2025 as I record this, so that means that I can get into old car events, so to speak, and park inside the event, because the age limit is typically 30 years, so why not? Another interesting thing is that, well, interesting, but a fact is that it has a timing chain, and I hate timing belts. What else? Well, it's a bit of a funny car, I think. I don't know that much about it yet, but I have started to learn a bit. I also bought it from a friend, so he had kind of tested it out a bit, and I was quite confident that there were no major issues with it. There are some minor though, and I'll get to that. Now, conceptually, this is kind of a BMW 318 of the E36 generation. So this car is also called an E36, but not everything is E36 on it. As I took off the rear wheel to check some cracked CV boots, I noticed that the rear suspension of this car is... don't know who designed that, but well, maybe I shouldn't say too much. I'm not a chassis designer at BMW, but I wasn't impressed. But the wheelbase is about 10 inches, 25 centimeters shorter than a normal sedan car, or whatever you should call it. So one might think that the 6-cylinder car is quite a cool option, but they were not available in 96, or as a model year 96 car. That engine, or those engines, because there were many sizes and output ratings on those, but the initial model years, I think the first two had the very small 1.8 liter, like this car, straight 4, and then a 1.9 liter straight 4 giving 140 horsepower, so nothing major. But I think that the whole idea with this car was to kind of get into a segment that Mazda opened up with its MX-5 or Miata or Eunos Roadster or whatever it's called. Now, Mazda designed the Miata more or less from scratch. Maybe they didn't custom make the engine for that car, but in a way the Miata is a much better sports car design. And I think that is reflected on the price levels that you see nowadays. This car, as it stands here, has a value of maybe 6,000 euros or something. And a 6,000 euro Miata is way worse in condition than this one is. So that was also part of why I decided to buy it. It has never been on a salted road. You can easily see that when you look underneath the car. So that's a clear plus for me also. I'm not that much of a fan of corrosion. So how is it to drive then? I'd say it's not bad. It's not Miata good, but it's not as crap as one might think when you see the suspension components, if I may stick my chin out a bit. But I mean, on public roads you aren't pushing it to the limit, of course, and there it runs well. Gearbox is not as nice as a Miata, but it's not complete rubbish. It's rather decent, I would say. A bit stiff when you get into second when the transmission is cold. The engine is 1.8 liter 4-cylinder car with 115 horsepower. It runs. The output is not shocking in any way, but it takes you there, and for sure it accelerates. I mean, compare with a slightly older sports car, or yeah, even an early Miata, they also had some 115 horsepower, and compared to a sub Sonnet or something, then it is extremely powerful. So, you know, but when I bought the car, it was running on different wheels. or other wheels, I should say. So I'll show you just a second. Look. These are 18-inch Hartge. Excuse my poor German then. It says Hartge if I don't know how to pronounce German properly. So these wheels are kind of cool in a way. And the car looks, well, sort of cool with them on. But the car wasn't all that nice on the road with them. It was tracking a bit. It's still not super perfect. I mean, the suspension is what it is, but the car was behaving way worse. I shouldn't say maybe way worse, but it was not performing as good with these wheels on. So I decided to search a bit, and I found these BMW original wheels. Not original for this car, but they have all the things in the right dimension. So 16-inch, 205, 55. And yes, there is a much better behavior on the road now. It doesn't track as badly and so on. Now, these wheels caused a little bit of imbalance, or they felt a bit imbalanced. So I'll show you one thing, because this is what happens when people that know just about nothing on cars work with cars. Just a second. Now, on a car, I shouldn't say modern cars because this car is 30 years old, but sometime during car development, or the history of car development, they found out that it's good if the wheel is well centered on the hub. Sounds kind of basic, but you know. So maybe you can see that here. There is a center bore, as most people call it. And some manufacturers of rims make them oversized, because then there's a chance to get more customers for that investment. But you have to have a little hub centering ring like this. So this wheel is 82 millimeters in diameter here. The hub on this E36 BMW is 72.5 or 6, very common. So there are rings then that are 82 to 72.6. So you know. This ring was not on the car when I bought it. None of the wheels had these kind of centering rings. So there was a bit of weird shake in the car. Well, if you know nothing about cars, yeah, it's easy to forget that you should have the wheel to center on the hub. But well, next little weird thing was that one of the wheels, or one of the rims, had a rather weird bolt. At the distance this might look perfectly fine, but I don't know if you can see it close up. Maybe it's difficult to see, but if I get it to focus, then you might see that the surface that really touches the rim is spherical. So it is not the normal 60-degree cone here, it's a bit spherical, and one of the bolts were like this. So well, so some previous owner of this car, they should have left it at some workshop where they know a bit better. Unless it was a poor workshop that didn't know much either. Anyways, let's take this wheel away again. Well, what else? The car as such is kind of basic. It has anti-lock brakes, it has some airbag. I think it might have some sort of stability control or traction control or something like that. I'm a bit uncertain about that though. Someone said that, oh, you got the M43 engine, it still has the wire throttle. Okay, that's probably a good thing then. The soft top is quite an easy thing. Oh yeah, it has this wind deflector. So all manual levers to maneuver when you, all manual levers to get in here when you snap it on. I've driven it in rain once and I didn't see any leak, so not a bad thing. So in a way, that's good. There's no electronics, no hydraulics for the roof. That's very good. Let's look under the bonnet also. So you see, nothing special, just a normal BMW 1.8 liter engine, M43 I believe it's called. Timing chain should be behind there. And as you can see, it's the number of corroded screws even are just a few. So this car has clearly never been out on any salted roads. Ah well, so has it been completely trouble-free? No, it has not. It's a rather low mileage car in relative terms. It has some 120,000 kilometers on it, so not too bad. Some 4,000 kilometers per year, so to speak. Now there was a weird sound from the auxiliary belt thing here, and the previous owner didn't really think much about it, but I did. For me, that was a sound of something that's going to end up badly quite soon. So I decided to take things apart kind of right away, and that's what I did, and I recorded that. So here's a little extra clip about how to sort out the belt transmission here, because I had to replace a few wheels and so on. If you're not interested in that, then you can skip for a few minutes and just fast forward. Anyways, here's that little clip. Yeah, so here under the bonnet of the Z3 I'm hearing some weird noise. And as you can see, there are two wheels here right now, and I've already taken those off the engine because I think that at least one of them is a bit so-so. Here's some kind of, well, might be difficult to hear or see, but when I spin it, it kind of wobbles a bit. And I think that that is causing some noise. And the other is just the tensioner wheel. And well, while I'm at it, why not change both? They are not that expensive. So I have new ones. If someone wonders how you get them off the engine, then well, I'm not used to BMW engines at all. So it's the first time for me that I see a, do you call it left-hand threaded screw on an engine? Maybe that just shows my inexperience. But anyways, so this one sits under a little cover. You see. So this one you just poke off with a little screwdriver. The other one though is, well, yeah, okay. Then BMW at that time, and maybe they still do, they fancy E-sockets. There are quite a few screws on the car I've noticed that have E-sockets. Or you use an E-socket to get, well, to work with the screw. So here I had to get myself, and what was it? E14. So E14 to that upper wheel, and then the other one is a bit more complicated, because yes, it's this one that is threaded in the opposite direction. And let me see now. Yeah, and right away I tried to turn the screw in the wrong direction to get it loose and show it for you. But here we go. So the thread, so this one is weird. They look really weird, right? But then they have a Torx 50 thing here, which for me isn't all that common also. So I had to make myself a little tool because it's tight. The distance between this fan shroud, I think it's called, and the screw, it's just so I could get a, let me think here. This is not half inch, it's not quarter inch, it's 3/8 of an inch. That kind of system for the tool. So this I can just, well, let's see. So this one I can get in there, but I have cut the Torx bit so it's a bit shorter, and then it works. And this socket is then just a normal hexagonal 8mm socket. So you, if your car is the same and it's tight, then I think you need to get yourself a tool to remove this screw for the tensioner pulley. All right, so new ones I have. And one is SKF, which makes me confident that it should be a good bearing in this one, I hope. But I could not find just a loose wheel from SKF for the pulley. So what is this? I can read on the box, of course. Kamoka. Oh yeah. Tensioner pulley wheel. Belt tensioner pulley wheel even. So looks symmetrical, no special direction on it. Where in the world Kamoka makes their parts? No idea. Sounds Japanese, but you never know. Shall I start with the lower wheel then? The tensioner. Now both screw threads felt extremely dry, and I don't like dry screws. And that these would be over tightened or vibrate loose because I'm putting a bit of oil on them. I would say not a chance, because the wheels are spinning in the tightening direction then. That doesn't worry me the least, and then I'm quite sure that I will be able to get these screws off again in a decade or two. So let me think, is there any reason to get the belt in position first? I don't think so. Worst case, I will have to take the pulleys off again. Let's see here, everything is visible. Why are there two? Yeah, funny enough, there are two holes, so suddenly I got confused, but I'm quite sure that I was working and having it there. Well, yes, must have been there, because I was searching for a screw head on the opposite side and there were none, so that's why I came to the conclusion that there must be something under that little lid. So much nicer with oil on the threads, right? Let me see. Let's see here. Tight. Very, very, very tight, but I have a very long lever here, so I will be a bit careful. Yep, it's fine. Good. Then it is this little cover. And how do I know if it has clicked in? Did you hear any click? I did not. That wasn't much of a click, but well, what can I do? SKF, I hope you know what you're doing. Then we have the weird screw. No inside or outside or anything. And let's see. Now the opposite direction. feels so weird to thread the other or turn a screw in the opposite direction, but it works. Okay. And then normally I would do like that, so then it's the opposite. As you can see, there isn't much room here. It was a bit awkward to get the belt off this all these wheels, because the tensioner, it has quite a bit of force, and it was a bit awkward. The tool kind of got stuck against the filter box, and oh well. It's a bit tight here, but maybe you can see. The whole wheel moves now when I torque this thing up, so I can't. I think that's kind of the torque that I can apply. Now, then it's a bit funny to get the belt over all the wheels, because I have to get the belt in near the, or over the fan, so to speak. And I'm putting on a new belt. It's a, what do you call it? Six, well, whatever they call it. 6PK 1733. 1733 is the length in millimeters then. The old one was the same length, so I hope that this is correct. Is there any arrow on this pointing in any direction? No, there is not. Made in Germany, not bad. I hope, at least it's a German car, although the car was built in the US. How did I get the old belt off? I don't know if the fan can start spinning suddenly. Is it electric or not? I don't know, but there's no label here. I hope no one has taken the label off the car, because I have not taken the plus pole off the battery, or plus connection, whatever you call it. Now, come on, belt. So now it's out below. It's out below the fan. Let me see. Ah well, so there's the power steering pump down there, and then alternator, and then below, and then I don't know this engine that well, so now comes the funny loop where the belt goes. This was a bit worse than I thought, but let's see here now. Come on, tool. Yes. Oh dear. Ha. Is it the way it should now? So, let's see here. Fan, and below there you can hardly see the crankshaft wheel. Then it's that, well, whatever, guiding wheel, something pushing things down just to add another wheel, just for the fun of it, one could think. And I don't know why they've done it like that. Have they had issues with slipping alternator? Why did they add that extra wheel there? Anyways, and then it's the, I think, power steering, but I'm not sure. Maybe it's the water pump. I haven't gotten to know this engine yet. So it is there. And well, will this engine be, and its transmission here, will it be silent again? Let's see. I will start the engine and I will learn the hard way. Well, except from that, all looks fine here. Of course, I'll do yearly service and so on the car, changing fluids and so on. One thing that looks a bit kind of sad, that is the headlamps. Plastic lenses had made it then already on cars in 1996, so the plastic lens is, I don't know, scratched, dull, looks a bit sad. I call BMW. How much is a how much is a new lamp? 2,000 euros each. Oops. So I don't know if I can find better ones that are used, or if I should try to polish these. I'm not sure if that's possible, because some kind of cracks looks a bit deep, but I'll give that a try. Someone has been here and been tampering with it. There's a little diode strip here also, so the lamps looks a bit funny. They are not orange here, which I think looks better. So if I buy used ones, then I will get this thing orange, but maybe that's a luxury problem. Okay. Now, if we look at the interior, it looks pretty decent. Leather seats that are black and red, I'll show you. So the sun is a bit sharp, but in the shadow you can see, in the sun it looks orange, but as you can see, it's quite well preserved, or rather good looking, I would say. For instance, the seat has no weird, it's just a tiny little mark here, but that's almost nothing. So in general, I would say that the interior has aged well. It looks good. All right, we can take this thing down again. Ah, yeah, I have a little paper there. That's what I put in the windshield when I go to gatherings and show the car for others. Then there's a little history there that I put in the inside of the windshield. All right, then rear end kind of normal. Someone has been playing around with the exhaust system, so there is another thing here, and as you can see, there's some amateur has been here because they've been cutting here to get room for this. It looks a bit so if you get close up. Boot space, some, but not much. Can you see this? Well, you can get a few bags in there, and it doesn't grow small or shrink when you fold it. Well, the roof is down, so it doesn't shrink any further. Well, it works. Well, I think that's all about this little car. I hope you found it a bit interesting. I think it's a reasonably good sports car for the money, so to speak, so I'll go for a drive with it. Yeah, just some last words about the chassis, because as you can see, the car runs kind of low, so it runs on eye-box springs. A bit shorter, a bit harder, and on most roads it's no big deal, but on some rough roads it's not that nice. And then you can see also that the camber is a bit off, so I think it will wear the rear tires quite badly. But that's the way the car is, and I don't think I will mess with that. So, well, that's all from Horse Garage today. Take care. Bye bye.